Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the online sessions of Dare Arkam School Systems. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you all are fine and are very good at your health. So, stay blessed, stay healthy. So, starting the lecture, we will recite a dua that will increase your knowledge, inshallah. Rabbi zidni ilma, ए मेरे रब मेरे इल्म में इजाफा फरमा. This is your history lecture, and what we are going to discuss in today's history. Today we are going to discuss about the contribution of Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah to the success of the Pakistan movement. This is your lecture number 13 in the creation of the Pakistan and the role of the Muslim leaders. In this chapter we will discuss about Allama Muhammad Iqbal and Rahmat Ali as well. So for today we are going to discuss only about the Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The study of the history teaches us that sometimes events are beyond the human control. No matter what steps were taken, things do not turn out according to the plan. However, it is equally true that there are times when the political leaders or the great statesman possesses such a high degree of insight that they are able to influence events to help bring them to a successful conclusion. The history of Pakistan is one of such examples. Three great men, Allama Muhammad Iqbal, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and Rahmat Ali, not only helped to bring about a set of circumstances where the creation of Pakistan was possible, but in the case of Jinnah, also helped to establish the state as a new member of the world community. So, creation of Pakistan and the role of the Muslim leadership. Pakistan emerged in the 1947 as a homeland of Muslims, nation of the South Asia subcontinent, as a nation which was denied the right of the respectable resistance by the Hindu majority under the British Raj. The emergence took place through the division of the subcontinent under unique circumstances. The Congress leaders were initially opposed to the division, but they had to acknowledge under pressure from the united political demands of the Muslims skillful guided by the Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Although they agreed to set the establishment of the Pakistan, yet they had a hope that the partition would soon be undone. With this start, the Congress leaders could never accept the existence of Pakistan from the core of their hearts. Role of Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The legacy continued even after the independence. Rather, the Indian leaders were bent upon creating hurdles in the way of proper functioning of the new state. The best example of this Indian invention in the East Pakistan in 1971, which led the establishment of the Bangladesh. The Quaid Azam demanded that the India should recognize the reality of Pakistan's existence. This was not a new thing in view. The Muslim in the South Asia always had a place in India. Explaining this, he said on the February 1948. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a great personality and worked so hard for the creation and the establishment of the country. Allama Muhammad Iqbal was born on the 25th of December. He came from the family of Gujarati Khoja Muslims. So in 1939, Jinnah was seen as an undisputed leader of the Muslim community on the both Congress and the British acknowledged him as such. At the first, Jinnah did not support the idea of the Muslim homeland. So हम लोग ये जानते हैं कि किस तरह से जो है वो पाकिस्तान जो है वो अब हमारी हिस्ट्री जो फर्स्ट चैप्टर से अभी तक चलती आ रही है आहिस्ता आहिस्ता क्रिएशन की तरफ बढ़ता जा रहा है. इन द लास्ट प्रीवियस चैप्टर्स वी हैव discuss about the creation of the Pakistan and how finally Pakistan was be created on the 1947 August 14. So, after the creation or the making of Pakistan, it is a very difficult and hard task for the leaders to the establishment of the new country, how they could establish a new country in the starting. So कायद आज़म ने किस तरह से जो है वो अपनी एक नई कंट्री जो है वो इस्टेब्लिश की. हम लोगों को ये पता है कि इसके साथ साथ जो है वो इतने सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे थे कि जिसमें से जो एक सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था वो ये भी था कि जो है पाकिस्तान का जो एक हिस्सा 1971 में जो है वो उनसे अलग कर दिया गया. बांग्लादेश को जो है वो पाकिस्तान से अलग कर दिया गया क्योंकि पाकिस्तान की जो पॉपुलेशन और जो एरिया विंग्स थे वो बहुत ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट होते जा रहे थे जो है वो इसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए. इसके साथ साथ जो है वो बहुत सारे दूसरे रीजनल इश्यूज़ भी जो है वो कायद आज़म को फेस करने पड़े जो है वो एज अ लीडर ऑफ द नेशन. So continuing this, we had a place in India for many centuries. At one time, it was supreme place. This was when the edict of the Mughal ran from shore to shore. When look back on that period simply from historical point of view, now we have got a comparatively small place. Comparatively small, although 4 times the size of England. It is ours and we are कंटेंटेड विद इट. सो इसके साथ साथ जो है वो कायद आज़म ने अपने कोटेशन भी जो है वो कुछ एड्स किए थे. अब हम लोग ये देखते हैं, अगर हम कंपैरिजन करें पास्ट टाइम्स का, हम लोग हिस्ट्री के थ्रू ही ऑब्वियसली कंपैरिजन करते हैं. तो अगर हम कंपैरिजन करते हैं पास्ट टाइम्स के, तो आप लोगों को ये पता चलेगा कि किस तरह से जो है वो मुग़ल टाइम पीरियड्स में जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा एम्पायर जो थे वो जो है वो मुग़ल के अंडर, मुग़ल एम्परर्स के अंडर आते थे. लेकिन जो अब जो स्टेट जो पोर्शन जो है वो मुसलमानों को दिया गया है, इट इज़ 4 टाइम्स बिगर देन द इंग्लैंड. इट इज़ 4 टाइम्स द साइज़ ऑफ इंग्लैंड. और ये जो भी है ये हमारा है और हम ही इसके साथ जो है वो हमारा ही इसके साथ ताल्लुक़ है. So Pakistan had emerged against this background of tussle between the Hindus and the Muslims. After its creation, there was strong probability of the continuity of same rivalry between them as 2 countries. अब पाकिस्तान तो बन गया, इतने सारे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स के बावजूद, हिंदू मुसलमानों के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स के बावजूद अब पाकिस्तान तो बन गया, लेकिन इसकी क्रिएशन के बाद भी जो है बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग जो है वो राइवलरी इश्यूज़ जो है, एनिमी इश्यूज़ जो है अभी तक पाकिस्तान में और इंडिया के बीच में चल रहे हैं. जैसे कि हम लोग, मैं पहले भी एग्जांपल देती हूँ कि हमारा जो क्रिकेट का अगर आप लोग एग्जांपल लें तो क्रिकेट इज़ वन ऑफ द थिंग कि आप लोग नहीं चाहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान हार जाए, लेकिन समटाइम्स मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स ऐसे ही होता है कि इंडिया और पाकिस्तान का जब भी मैच होता है तो इंडिया मोस्टली विंस. सो इसमें भी जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा जो आपको जो है ना एक पोजीशन देखने के लिए मिलेगा कि किसी तरह से जो है वो इंडिया की टीम जो है वो हार जाए. पाकिस्तान इंडिया का मैच जब भी होगा, सारी जो है वो आवाम जो है वो अपने काम वगैरह छोड़कर टीवी के आगे बैठ जाते हैं कि आज पाकिस्तान और इंडिया का मैच है, और सब पाकिस्तान को सपोर्ट कर रहे होते हैं, कुछ इंडिया को सपोर्ट कर रहे होते हैं. अब ये पाकिस्तान का किसी से भी मैच हो वो इतना ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं होता है हमारी जो है वो सोसाइटीज़ में, हमारी कंट्रीज़ में, बोथ ऑफ द कंट्रीज़, चाहे वो इंडिया है चाहे वो पाकिस्तान है, दोनों कंट्रीज़ में भी ये जो है वो इतना इम्पोर्टेंट मैच होता है कि पता नहीं ये पाकिस्तान और इंडिया की जैसे कोई बड़ी जंग है जो मुसलमान और जो है वो हिंदुओं के बीच में रही है और अब 2 कंट्रीज़ के बीच में आ गए. He desired that the Muslims of Hindustan should try to live in India by developing close and harmonious relation with the Hindus and other non-Muslim communities. My advice to my Muslim brethren in India is set the qaid to give unflinching loyalty to the state in which they happen to be. अब यहाँ पर जो है वो सब ये चाह रहे हैं कि जो मुसलमान, जब पार्टीशन हो गई है तो अब जो है वो माइग्रेशन, वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट माइग्रेशन स्टार्ट हो गया है. लोग मुसलमान जो है वो पाकिस्तान की तरफ शिफ्ट हो रहे हैं, लोग हिंदू जो है वो पाकिस्तान की टेरिटरीज से इंडिया की तरफ शिफ्ट हो रहे हैं. लेकिन जो लोग इंडिया में मुसलमान बच गए हैं उनके लिए क्या एडवाइस कायदे आज़म कर रहे हैं कि वो जिस कंट्री में रह गए हैं अब वो उस कंट्री के साथ जो है वो लॉयल रहें, उस कंट्री के साथ जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा जो है वो लॉयल्टी शो करें, बहुत ज़्यादा ईमानदार रहें उस कंट्री के साथ. As the Indian Muslims had supported the cause of Pakistan, the government victimized and oppressed them. The Qaid called upon the Indian government not to penalize them for their help and sympathy for the establishment of Pakistan. The same attitude of cordiality towards the Hindu and the other non-Muslim population in Pakistan was accepted by him for the government of Pakistan, which he himself was heading. In this policy, he sought cooperation from both the Muslims and the Hindus of Pakistan. In a message, he called upon both communities to forget the past of mutual rivalries and try to build good relations with each other. On can quit understanding the feeling of that exists between the two communities whenever one community is in majority and the other is in minority, but the question is whether it is possible or practicable to act otherwise than what has been done. A division had to take place on the both sides in Hindustan and Pakistan. There are sections of people who may not agree with it, who may not like it, but in my judgment there was more solutions. I am sure future history will record its verdict in favor of it. And what is more, it will be proved by the actual experience as we go on that was the only solution of the constitutional problems. Quaid Azam said, any idea of a united India could never have worked, and in my judgment, it would have led us the terrific disaster. Maybe the view incorrect, maybe it is not. That remains to be seen. All the same, in the division is possible to avoid the questions of the minorities being in the dominion or their other. Now that was unavoidable. There is no other solution. Now what shall we do? Now, if we want to make the great state of Pakistan happy and prosperous, we should wholly and solely concentrate on the well-being of the people and especially the masses and the poor. That is what was desired by the Quaid Azam, who was keenly interested in strengthening the human relations between the peoples of the both countries. Thus, the Quaid Azam guided both in terms of framing powers in the various fields. Quaid lived for a short period, but it was his guidance that made Pakistan as a living state. Despite its weakness, it strengthened Pakistan in all of its spheres. So Quaid Azam wants to help the newly arrived refugees. He set up the rifle funds and rehabilitate them quickly as possible. The people were quick to respond to the donations in cash and kinds. To emphasize the role of the Pakistan in the world community, the Quaid Azam secured membership of the country into the United Nations Organizations UNO in September 1947. This helped it gain recognition and support among the other nations of the world. Quaid Azam faced so many problems in building up the country, as it could be building economy, establishment of the new national security, and many more as like this, the building a nation and office issues and achievements of the many resources. The Quaid Azam died on the 11th September 1948. Despite his failing health, he had worked tirelessly to establish his new country, but the time of his death, a new government and administration had been put in place. Measures had been taken to unite the diverse people in one single Pakistani nation, and the steps made in developing the solved unless the country had an administration that could take decisions about the problems and make sure that those decisions were carried out. In an English newspaper, and Mr. Jinnah wrote that Mr. Jinnah was something more than the Qaid Azam. He was more than the architect of the Islamic nation he personally called into being. For statesmen have shaped events to their policy more surely than Mr. Jinnah. He was a legend even in his lifetime. So this is all for today's lecture. So till then, stay blessed, stay healthy, fi amanillah, and write down the questions and read down the past papers as well from related to this chapter. So this could help you for better writing in the next chapter's test as well. So till then, stay blessed, stay healthy, and fi amanillah.